All right. All right. Let's say you get a call from a creditor one day demanding payment on a debt that you have never heard of. After sending in a debt validation letter, you get the documents back and the debt, and someone has filled in all your information for a line of credit, but the signature's wrong. You're usually a careful person, but somehow an individual out there somewhere has obtained enough information about you to open an account in your name, made numerous purchases, and quite literally left you with a bill. With recent data breaches, this is highly possible, but is there something you can do to hamper the efforts of those who have stolen your information from creating your accounts? There is, and the best part about it is now it's free. It's called a credit freeze. But what is a credit freeze? The credit freeze is best explained by the Federal Trade Communications website, Credit Freeze Frequently Asked Questions, where the freeze, also known as a security freeze, is a tool that lets you restrict access to your credit report. While a freeze is in place, it prevents new lenders from viewing your reports and thus creating new accounts in your name. And while the freeze is in place, there's only a few entities that can actually view your credit report. And those entities basically are existing creditors and debt collectors and government agencies. And everyone else won't be able to get access to the reports. Now, you may be asking, well, that sounds okay, but how do I place a freeze? And more importantly, can I lift it when I need it? According to Lisa Gerstner's article for Kiplinger magazine entitled Freeze Your Credit in 3 Steps, she states that as of September 21st, 2018, it is now free to place and lift a freeze on your credit reports. She also states that to place a freeze, you must contact each credit reporting agency individually, and you have to provide proof of your identity. There's 2 ways you can do it. By mail, where you send in your proof of information. This is the slowest by far because once they receive your request, it takes up to 3 days to freeze your credit reports. You can also do it online through each credit reporting agency's website, and luckily it only takes 1 hour to freeze your credit. These same rules apply to unfreezing your credit or thawing your credit. So it's much more convenient to do it online. Now, while your credit is frozen, you're going to run into a few inconveniences. Rachel Watson of the Grand Rapids Business Journal wrote in a 2017 article entitled Credit Freeze, an Option to Prevent Identity Theft. Problems can occur when your credit is frozen. If you apply for new credit, you're going to have to unfreeze your credit reports for at least through the agencies, or at least the agency that the new say bank uses to obtain your credit. Some employers, when you're looking for a job, will actually run your credit to see if you can be trustworthy. If the reports are frozen, they may also think that you're not who you say you are. Some landlords also will check your credit to make sure you're going to pay your rent on time. If you have bad credit, more than likely you're not going to be paying your rent. Insurance companies, and many times it's auto insurance companies, may have credit-based premiums and conclude you have bad credit, so you'll end up with a higher premium because they can't verify your credit stance. Now, this may sound like a headache, but hey, it's better than the alternatives. If you're not proactive in protecting your identity, problems will arise if it's stolen. According to Paul Stratt, a security specialist with Experian, who wrote an article, 5 Ways Identity Theft Can Wreak Havoc, you can run into unexpected costs due to the theft. The first is how long it actually takes to regain your identity. Ben Keeler of Identity Force, a proactive identity protection service, states that after an identity theft, it can take around 6 months and hundreds of hours of work to recover your identity. And for most of us that don't have perfect credit, this can take quite a bit longer because you can't just say, well, my credit's always been perfect. This can't be true. Another thing that can happen is someone may use your information they obtained through your credit reports to actually commit crimes, which you may be arrested for because they think you did it. And you'll have to go through the whole process of proving that you weren't actually the one committing the crime. Also, if accounts are created in your name and you don't know about them, it's going to raise your credit or lower your credit score. Experience states also that the average cost is over $600, which is over and above possible losses from, say, a debit card that doesn't cover theft. Lastly, experience states that many people suffer emotional distress from the loss of their information, and many people even have to rely on therapy to get them through the process of restoring their identity. Now, I have discussed some of the basics of what a credit freeze is, how you can freeze and thaw your credit reports, some of the problems you may face by freezing your credit, and some you may face if you don't freeze your credit. I feel, however, that proactively freezing your credit will help you keep your identity safer than not freezing it. I also feel it's worth the extra effort. To tell the truth, I have frozen my credit reports with different reporting agencies, but I did this only after someone nearly drained my checking account of all the money I had for my student loan, the day after it was dispersed by Columbia College. So I know how scary it can be. By proactively freezing your credit reports, though, I can ensure that no one can use my information obtained from breaches such as the Equifax breach in 2017 that, according to Consumer Reports, affected 148 million Americans, of which I am one. Now, this means that all of my vital information was stolen and is sitting out there somewhere on the internet in a database somewhere and can be found easily. So I implore you to actually proactively freeze your credit reports, even if it means a little bit of discomfort in your lives, because it's going to pay off in the long run for you not having to restore your identity. And it will also prevent financial loss to yourself. Thank you.